Hello, and welcome to the Surveillance Spotlight. I'm your host, Gianfranco, and today I'll be discussing facial recognition, what it is, and how it is being used to make everyday life feel more Orwellian. To start off by definition, facial recognition is a system capable of identifying a person by comparison of an image, a video, or a live feed of faces inside of a database. These systems are being implemented by governments to maintain control, by police as an alternative to getting a warrant, by schools to recognize students and red flag intruders, and by devious individuals who stalk and harass people, usually women. An example of a country that relies heavily on facial recognition is obviously China. Implemented around 2014, China uses a system of databases to monitor each person's actions to determine their trustworthiness as citizens with a numerical score. This is an obvious violation of people's privacy and abuse of human rights. No doubt about it. Their idea is to use plausible deniability to keep the legitimacy of populism. Just think that citizens are being judged based on how they live, their mannerisms, and social interactions. Now think of actually being Muslim instead of a mainland industrial section of China surrounded by 1 billion people, being inside of a country known for suppressing ethnicities that aren't Chinese. One could assume a person like that is automatically red flagged by the system. The United Kingdom also has a surveillance program used like this by its police force. An article published by The Guardian in October of 2022 recognized facial recognition as discriminatory. British police have been experimenting with the new system as an act to combat crime and terrorism. The LFR, the UK's facial recognition system, connects cameras to a database of photos containing people, and those faces are compared for a match. The Minderoo Center for Technology and Democracy has argued that this system should be removed from public use as it violates persons' rights. A researcher, Pete Fusey, was hired by the Met to carry out an investigation and see the results from this facial recognition system and see its success rates. Met made the claims of it being over a 70% success rate, while Fusey made claims of only 19%. Oof, let that sink in. A very popular surveillance system is being used right now. The US is Clearview AI, originally developed by Australian CEO Juan Ton That, has a database of over 3 billion people scraping their faces off the internet from social media, websites, and more. Clearview facial recognition is in use by over 600 North American governments and police branch. Not limited to, but including the FBI, DHS, Department of Homeland Security, and the most popular, controversial anti-immigration government branch, IC. Another rising surveillance program from 2020 is FaceMe software. Originally used for the makeup demos, it has been used for logging in faces for apps and identifying intruders for companies. General Manager Richard Carriers claims their systems have an accuracy up to 99.58%, and their only systems superior to this are coming out of China and Russia. The claims from him are having police officers having your face is obviously going to decrease the chances of police brutality interaction. Though it seems, unfortunately, police officers are already abusing their powers over the system in place. The police in Chula Vista, California, have failed to report to a federal oversight committee about the uses of facial recognition software. Ever since 2019, have banned facial recognition software for California police officers. Now, be honest, not to bring any shade onto good and honest police officers who do their due diligence, but people are always going to do something for themselves more than others. It's just human nature. This technology is even being implemented in schools. According to an article published by Only Sky in Mississippi, a new law will be instituted saying that cameras will be installed in schools and colleges for safety reasons. It is said that these cameras will be placed in public areas like classrooms, cafeterias, and other areas that aren't expected to have privacy. This article also reads parents will have access to see their children during recordings in classes. Schools will be wasting technology for parents to monitor their children as if the school is not doing that already. I understand that this is in place for safety of students and stop intruders, but it's also hard to argue that this is an invasion of students' privacy. Though I understand that as students, they are not given amounts of privacy like adults are, but it's not like to argue now that you're going to say that a child doesn't have the right to their privacy for a warrant, or that, they aren't going to have, a right to an attorney? Is that it? I mean, I know it sounds like I'm being extremist here, but I'm just trying to be honest here. Like, how come a student can't have that same privacy as an adult should? Should it not? There are also the darker portions of the internet where people use facial recognition websites to find shameful and dirty pictures of people. More specifically, women on the internet. For instance, there is a new website named PimEyes, a search engine that can be used to find photos of people to targets. Vice News has covered PimEyes in an investigation on facial recognition, interviewing one of the victims of an attack like this. Cher Scott, a software engineer, found pictures of herself in lewd scenarios from when she was younger. She says this technology has been a new form of harassment for her. PimEyes is said to have a service that deletes any pictures a user does not want to be seen, starting from a fee from, I don't know, you guess it, $40 to $300. And to pay annually, the highest price is an estimate. I want you to think for this. Take a moment to think. Hey, singing. Maybe 500? I don't know. Yearly it'll be like, I don't know, 700? $3,000, which has to be at least more than what most people make in a week for, limited people with a very small amount of salary. At this point, why even bother paying for $300 to lead to compromising traumatic pictures from the internet? It's absolutely ridiculous, no matter what kind of picture it is. And it isn't just people like Scarlett being targeted either. It's in the popular message board 4chan. People have fun using their premium PimEyes accounts to stalk other women when asked to do so for their sick thrills. CEO of PimEyes, Gianfranco Martinez, argues PimEyes is here to help people who are worried if they have any private or embarrassing photos of themselves online, and that they would want to get rid of it. Mr. Martinez, I am not sure how long you will be able to keep running this narrative, as people are starting to catch on to these exploitative business models. Charging these steep prices to help with people's privacy. Stop lying. You are not here to protect privacy. You are here to line your own pockets. If any of you want a great way of deleting personal information from websites like this without going bankrupt within the coming years, go for a website I've seen. It's deleteme.com, where at least the prices are monumentally less expensive than what Mr. Gobernese charges for their full wiping of your face from the internet. I mean, with deleteme.com, you can get rid of, the basic stuff, like previous addresses, marital status, age, name, social media, family members, the whole package. Unfortunately, I could not find anything for faces, but you will be able to find at least more stuff to be deleted than using PimEyes for about $300. In its defense, facial recognition systems, they can assist with genuine concerns for security, and I understand that a lot of people are afraid and want protection. But is someone willing to go so far as to give up their rights to feel slightly more secure? If you're going to feel that someone is always watching you, what you are doing, do you feel safer, or do you just feel more scared at that point? Ladies and gentlemen, you're the only ones able to decide for yourselves whether you believe facial recognition violates your Fourth Amendment privacy or not. This has been a Surveillance Spotlight. Like always, remember, shine a light of surveillance, and I'll see you next time.